because, like I said, when we were young, we could play in the street. You can't play in the street anymore. But a lot of times with small children, I was playing in the parking lot. So what does that mean? It means that the surface is bad. When you fall down, it hurts. So you try to learn not to fall down. For small players, they quickly understand they've got to be technically much better than the other. Because if he's too slow, the big one will hit him over and he will be hurt. A lot of complaints of the mothers who said, well, my child fall down. Well, the game of football is not to fall down. I mean, you mustn't fall down. So, or you've got to organize it one way or the other. So I always think that these sort of things help you to think. The problem today is a lot of coaches are thinking for them. Think that put a problem there and think about it. Try to do something or try to... And as soon as you think or as soon as you do something you're not capable of or you don't know, you're getting better. It's like you're right-footed, you learn to shoot with your left foot. Of course you make a mistake, but as soon as you control it, you learn a lot. If your right foot is good, you'll never be better.
Wijnstekers. De beweging is er steeds wel bij Hoekstra. Houtman verlengt op Gullit. Maar echte ruimte wordt er nauwelijks gecreëerd. Daar is Cruyff zelf met de gelijkmaker. Schrijvers is uitgespeeld. Hoe mooier kan het? In zijn laatste wedstrijd hier in de Kuip. Johan Cruyff scoort zijn 11e competitiedoelpunt voor Feyenoord.
En dan is hij echt voor het laatst actief bezig in competitievoetbalverband. Johan Cruyff. En zo scoort hij dan zijn 215e doelpunt in de Nederlandse competitie.
First of all, you start again with the person. Somebody can be shy and won't show himself, but could have the qualities. I remember that we start with in Ajax. Now I'm talking about ages ago. We had an open day. A lot of people came there. I always took the first team to this day to let them think, let them have a look, let them So it's quite of education again. When a day like that, your first team players are there, or promising youth players, and then there was a player who played 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and he touched one ball, but he was always well organized, well placed. His position was perfect. So at the end I said, could he play football? Because I didn't know. But his position play was so good that if somebody bowled, he was always there where he should be. We said, well, this is unbelievable what I see. So I said, well, he didn't touch a ball, but let him come back. And let's have a look. If he does, if we play a small game, 3 against 3, so he has to touch the ball. Well, it turned out he couldn't play at all. He had no idea. So he was always somewhere, but they won't give him the ball. But that's a nice thing about watching, that it's not 100% thing. But it's looking at certain details where somebody loves the ball, likes the ball, passes the ball, controls the ball. He's got individual say it's one person. No. I mean, an outside right has got nothing to do with a midfielder, nothing to do with fullback, nothing to do with whoever. So there's a lot of choices. And the developing of a player, 90% of my fullbacks, wherever I was in clubs, were before bringers. The only thing is they had to, let's say, learn to defend a little. Because in my way of thinking, if we got the ball and if we are attacking, my fullbacks have got more players in front of them than the wingers from the other team. Which means that he should be technically good enough to do something with the ball with so many people on one half of the field. So it's a question of educating. So both fullbacks at the end in Barcelona, one I sent to, I think it was Tenerife or Las Palmas, and normally they ask the money to give a player on loan. So I said, well, you've got to pay 100,000 euros, but every game he plays, 5,000 euros less. He's going to play 20 games. But I was looking not to send him away, but to prepare him as a fullback. So he needed to play games. He needed to defend because it was not a big team. So he came back and then he went into the first team and he stayed, I don't know, until the national team, I think.
We're talking about Chappie Ferrer, but he's one of the few players under your system that was loaned out and then successfully came back.